to ask you, because on your page that you did studio and like kind of like street and like just outdoor photography. I want to ask you what you find is like the main differences of like either shooting outdoors or street versus studio, or if there's like a different vibe when you're shooting with someone. Is it a different vibe? Like you rather shoot studio or you rather shoot outdoor with them? Like, is there like a certain way you go about it?
I honestly had never had access to a studio before school. And when I went to college, I only had 1 year in person. And not even a year, it was a semester in 3 weeks. So, I didn't even get 5 full months in person. And I had access to these amazing professional studios that were incredible. They had like 6 or 7 lights in each studio, massive ceilings, every backdrop color. It was unreal. And
Wow.
I didn't know where to start. I had to completely learn. And so we
Yeah.
learned lighting classes and all that stuff. And so I barely had a taste of studio life before COVID shut down my schooling. And then my last entire year and a half was online, and watching
Mhm.
them teach lighting techniques and teach posing and all that stuff in the studio was from me sitting at home on Zoom. And
Yeah.
I was so envious because we were in full lockdown mode, especially last spring, which was my last semester of school. It was
Yeah.
so important to be there doing it, but I was watching them do it and recordings and me, so I'm completely self-taught, which is sad because I do have a diploma in my specialty, but I also like
Yeah.
I didn't do it. Realistically, I didn't. I didn't go. And the one or two times I did go, I'd be there on a weekend and I'd be completely trying to learn this equipment that I had never touched. So I really love it, but it's so weird because I've always done outdoor stuff. And I love outdoors. I love natural light. And even talking to me probably a year ago, I would have told you like I don't use flash. I don't fuck with that. I'm
Oh,
so
I hate Flash. I hate Flash so much. I hate
yeah,
Flash.
right? I don't like anything that looks so artificial. I need soft lighting, and I use like reflectors, and I'll use that stuff to bounce sunlight and things. Even that I find can be harsh, but even direct sunlight, I really like. I mean, every photographer likes the golden hour and the blue
Mhm.
hour, but I don't know, I'm just so comfortable outdoors using natural light. And so stepping into a studio and making my own studio was a huge move and such a big adjustment because I didn't buy the lights that they taught me on. They were so old school. All the lighting was 30 plus years old, these big speedo packs that were just
Really? Wow.
not modern. No, and a lot of my program I found wasn't modern. I'm not here to shit on it, but it was just very, very old school. We had lots of different previous photographers that have graduated and specialized. And a lot of them will tell you, like, you don't go for the creative aspect, you go for the technique and you learn it. And I assume you do because I didn't because I was online. But yeah, it's very strange. I ordered all my studio stuff and I had to learn the lights and so I just have a two light setup. I have four lights, but I usually shoot with two and I've learned to love it because the softer and the bigger the light, the better. And so
Mhm.
I've got these like 6 foot umbrellas that are massive and I just love it. I can do a lot with a light and manipulate it and make it like
Yeah.
super hazy or you can make it super sharp. Spotlights, like you can do I love putting gels on colors and making like really bold statements and I feel like there's so much opportunity and that I had never known about, especially during so much lockdown, me studying other photographers and just like really opening up my shell and opening up my creativity because I had always had such a specific style. Looking back, even like on my old like Instagram feed, like it was so moody and it was so
Mhm.
dark and black and white and film and all that stuff. And I really didn't experiment much with color, but I think it was because I was a little bit intimidated by it. And I just kind of thought, oh, I have to have this one style. But recently, I've really become one to love colored backdrops and colored lights and more big statements and like high fashion stuff, which I really, really love and I'll continue to keep learning about. And so I'm constantly learning all the time.
Mhm.
But I don't know. Right now it's great because in the fall I was looking like, what am I gonna do this winter during because we get heavy winters in Wyerton. We get like
Yeah.
extreme like schools will close down for weeks at a time because buses don't run and it's like it's pretty intense. So I'm
Yeah.
like, nobody's gonna want to go outside during this blizzard weather, or whether it's just like slushy and gross. Nobody really wants to do that. So I'm
Yeah, it's
just, it's hard
go
to
ahead.
compare the two. I love outdoor, but I needed an alternative, and I was like, I want to
Mhm.
start creating a bigger portfolio on different styles and different. I really want to specialize in fashion, like especially like as I grow, I would love to just do that. I do maternity stuff and newborn stuff occasionally. I'm trying to get out of couples and I'm trying to get out of family shots. I
Yeah.
really want to push my creativity, and I find it's hard to at those because everybody wants those basic happy shots, and I'm more like, let's do like something moody, like
This is
go
something
like jump in
cool.
the
Like,
river.
yeah.
I don't know. So, yeah.
Um, with like building your own studio, how was that process? Like, was it like you like I find with like what you were saying, like you want to do moody and stuff. So going about making your own studio, what was that process like? Was it very like um kind of like you're just jumping in, like I don't really know what's going on, or was it more like learning every like kind of different, not different type of light, but different type of light, different type of um backdrop, like more versatility, like getting like a backdrop that costs less but has multiple like colors and stuff. Like what was that kind of like what kind of process did you go through to have like the setup you have now?
I don't I wouldn't say it was under control, and I didn't have much knowledge. So
Hmm.
I did research a lot, and I worked with these 9 foot backdrops at school, and they were amazing. 9 feet wide is like incredible. There's so much you can do. You can throw so many people in there. But obviously you need a massive space for something like that, and you need very, very strong light stands to hold that up, or you need like a ceiling or a wall mount. And I was tripping. I was just like, where am I going to put a studio in this small little town? And is there a
Yeah.
clientele for that? I'm probably going to be screwed, to be honest. But my parents and I chatted, and they were just like, yeah, use our living room. We've got multiple living room spaces. And so
Hmm.
this one it's like 10-foot ceilings. And I'd say it's like 15, no, probably 12 feet across. It's very big and it's very open. And they just said, use the space, put up your work on the walls, hang your backdrops, do whatever you need to do to that space. So I hung like a wardrobe, like a bar to hang everybody's clothes when they get there, and I've got shelves for like footwear, and it's pretty great. I only built it I guess 2 months ago now, and I have people in it almost every day, sometimes 2 people a day, and it's incredible how busy it's been. I definitely didn't expect that living in such a small area. I expected so much less, but I was like, let's focus on like bigger projects and reaching out to smaller businesses and maybe doing some product stuff. But yeah, it's been really, really busy, and I'm really grateful for that. And I'm hoping to grow more. But yeah, I'm using 6 foot backdrops. So they're 6 feet wide, and they're like 20 feet long. They're so long. So you just keep rolling them down. But you have to be
Hmm.
super, super careful when it comes to damaging the vapor, because it's very easy to rip or tear or even just like scuff with like shoes. I just clean shoes, and I make sure everything is so delicate. And obviously having dancers and stuff that are jumping around and people in like big high heels, it's so easy to damage. So I go through
Yeah.
backdrops pretty fast, but they're honestly pretty cheap. I think you can get a nice backdrop for under $100. And I don't have every color, but I want to get every color. I'm thinking about this weekend going and
Mhm.
investing in more, because I'm just like, I want to have all the options. And once you have them all, you're set.
Yeah, and they can be more versatile of like what you want to do, because you're mentioning doing fashion, and like with fashion you don't need like multiple colors and different like match certain like outfits and stuff.
Exactly.
So yeah, definitely, yeah, I can definitely see more backdrops in the works for you.
Hmm.
Um, when you were, I guess, because you said you were self-taught, but also have like you went to school for it, like photography. I want to know like with learning like the studio stuff, was it more like what's the word I want to say? You felt kind of out of place, or did it kind of like make sense as you started doing it more?
I definitely got a lot more comfortable as I experimented. I had friends come in, and I was just like, let me just play for hours. bring a bunch of outfits. We'll play with different lights. Let me just adjust to it. I wasn't going to start bringing in paid clients immediately. I'd say
Hmm.
the first week or two, I had friends in every day. Just I have got some really cool friends with some funky outfits, and we'd
Yeah.
thrift things, and we'd go hard. We'd make full sets and makeup and hair, and everyone would just pitch in, and we create some really beautiful art together. And we'd edit later, and I don't know. I like to tether. I like to plug it into my laptop as I'm shooting, so I can just immediately see the results, and then
Yeah.
I can do my tweaks. And I learned pretty fast. I mean, I can't say I had no experience because I was shooting in studio at school and I had help, but
Mhm.
a lot of it was product. Like the first full semester of school, which was the only semester which was in person, it was all like how to light wood, how to light glass, how to light ceramics, all this different stuff, and some products and some. I don't think we did any portraiture, which is that's of course my niche. So
Yeah, that's funny
yeah,
because you're mostly doing portraiture now.
exactly. Yeah. It's a lot of I just like to call them like self-love projects. I love doing like one-on-one with a person. Some people want to bring a friend and I say it's okay, but I really encourage people to just bring themselves and just sit with me and we'll chat about it at the beginning. I want to make someone feel so comfortable in front of the camera without having a friend looking at them and feeling awkward or just like giggly. I just want and I don't know, I feel like self-love is like the most important thing to me is just like having somebody come and then see the photos once the gallery's sent and just loving every inch of their body and just feeling so refreshed and so beautiful and powerful. And I think it's a very empowering experience,
Hmm.
especially when it comes to people who, which is most who come in, people who just say like I really don't like the way I look. I have no confidence. I'm very insecure and I'm very nervous and I just want them to feel so comfortable. And it's amazing the difference that like an hour or two of shooting and just doing fun poses and doing different outfits and just loosening up on camera. It's very, very powerful the effect it can have on somebody and their whole like look on themselves.
So yeah, I was gonna ask you. I've seen you've been jumping into more like boudoir esque photography, and I almost answered my question. I was gonna ask you, um, what made you like take that jump into boudoir? Like not really take that jump, but like make you more interested in that, I guess, field slash genre of photography.
Yeah, I love it. I've always loved it. To be honest, you would find me at 13, 14, like early high school shooting boudoir of my friends and my sister, and we're all like children. But
Hmm.
I just love it. I've just always thought the human body is so beautiful and should be embraced. And like form and just like light and shadow hitting the body, it can just be so stunning. I think society's beauty standards, which being like extremely thin and tall
Hmm.
and having flawless skin, it's also unrealistic and just total bullshit. I just do not agree with it. I think every single size and every skin color, everything should be embraced because every body is so unique and beautiful in their own way.
That was perfect, Jesus. But yeah, no, I agree, and I guess yeah, because kind of I don't know. I feel like that style of photography aligns with you from what you've been saying with like just like enjoying, I guess, creating. So I feel like with that genre of photography, you could just kind of like have a few outfits, maybe try this light with that thing, this with that, see how this looks, try this pose. 'Cause I feel like it's a lot. There's a lot of creative things you could do with that genre,
Oh,
at least for you.
100%. I can do full nude or semi nude, or I can do fully clothed. I think either way you can make it so tasteful, whether how much clothing they have or not. You can do it without being provocative or tasteless. I think I don't know what it is. I just love it. I think and having somebody look at themselves after and just never seeing them in that way, it's just
Mhm.
such a huge jump and it's so amazing.
I also want to ask you, so for kind of like I guess some tips for people out there, need to knows for studio, like anything like key things either for, like you could say for anything, like either shooting in a studio, making your own studio, or just getting started in a studio. What are some like, I guess, key things that you find like helped you the most either build your own studio or start shooting in a studio?
Oh my goodness. I don't know. I would suggest to look at inspiration, constantly browse different photographers' work. Find your niche, find the stuff that you're constantly looking at and saving. And I'm a huge sucker for mood boards. I'm constantly making a million different Pinterest boards and putting photos together I like and doing all these saved stuff that when somebody does come to me, I'm saying like I've got so many concepts in my brain I want to do, and I look at somebody and I think like I can definitely put together some ideas just to give them an idea. I love looking at different people's work and comparing it and just their like everything, their style and their wardrobe and their lighting and everything. So I love that. That's really great for different ideas and just
Mm.
conceptual things. And oh my goodness, to start making a studio, it's so overwhelming because there's so many different ways you can go with it, but you need a space, and you can pretty much do it in a small space. There are very very small backdrops depending on editing skills. If you're willing to expand backdrops, you can do it in a very small room with smaller lights to start off. Yeah, I don't really know where to what to suggest. I think in Ontario we don't have a lot of options for like buying the materials. There's only a few different camera stores and a few different
Mm.
lighting stores and backdrops, and so I went with VizTech in Toronto, and there's a few different locations, and but they're pretty affordable. And my lights I bought online, they were Pulsey Buff. They're Alien Bee lights, and they're great.
Okay.
They're slaves. So basically, I only need one light to be plugged in to my
Oh wow.
camera, and the other one is like on a slave mode. So when it sees a light fire, it immediately fires, which is incredible because I can't be tied up to both. That would just be a mess.
Yeah.
You can also go wireless if you have pocket wizards, which they're expensive, but if you just get a cord, you can plug into the one and the other one will fire the same second. If I even had like a little speedo on my camera, like a little
Mm.
flash, I could flash that, and then both of them not plugged in would flash. And it's great that they're so immediate and they're so reliable. Whatever way they're facing, they're usually if you've got the space, they'll fire, and you can really get creative. I think one or two lights is all you really need to do some pretty amazing professional looking shots.
All right. Well, thank you, Bella, for being on the podcast. I
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
it. Let the people know where to find you on Instagram and all that. Shout yourself out.
I am on Instagram, Bella Bruff Photo. It's BellaBrough photo. And yeah, I don't really, I guess that's pretty much it. I guess I'm on Facebook, but nobody really cares about Facebook.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Thank you for being on. It was a
Thank you so
pleasure.
much. Me
This is a
too.
lot of